Welcome to another episode of Pizza Punk. My name is Pizza Jeff, although that's not what it says below, but that's who I am, and this is Lindsay Adams. Hi, what's up, dude?
What's up? I'm like, I should have put on makeup, but I really am being brave.
No, you look great. I'll tell you, I just throw on the sunglasses and everything's okay.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, you don't need makeup. You look great. You could see the ring light in my glasses though, which is funny.
I want to get one of those. That's great.
I got a box light. What's it called? A soft box? A soft
Yeah.
light.
Box. Yeah. Yeah.
I got something and I highly recommend that.
Okay. You'll have to send me a link to it. Welcome to my show.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Oh my God. Well, I'll be honest. I haven't had any female guests on my show. It's episode 15. And I was just like, oh, come on. For doing this in my spare time, it's
no, I meant it's not bad. It's not bad to not have had a woman for that many. It's actually crazy and great that you've been doing this for 15 shows.
Well, I don't have much else to do in the sense of I'm not working, but that kind of contradicts what I just said. But yeah.
It is.
Sorry.
No, it's your spare time. You're a dad. You're a husband. You're living a
I'm
fucking
a house
life.
husband. I'm a house husband because I'm unemployed.
Oh. Okay, fair. There you go.
So my honey brings home the bacon. Sorry, the kosher salami. And and I watch the Kindle. And you know what? I like that. I like doing it.
I bet.
I wish I didn't have to go back to the workforce eventually.
Yeah.
But it's going to happen. You know what I've been actually applying to? I've been trying to find podcast and like talk show gigs.
Oh, yeah. That's a great call.
Yeah. I've been applying every day and I just figured, I love talking on the internet. I can talk endlessly. I have a big mouth. I never shut up. Why not try and do that? And so,
fuck yeah.
Because screw day jobs. They suck. They're the worst.
They're bad. They're bad.
They're terrible. So first of all, we haven't seen or spoken to each other in over a decade. Do you realize this?
I know it hasn't been over a decade. We saw each other at one point in New York, but was it over a decade ago?
We came to New Jersey.
That's right, when my dad died, and that was the sweetest thing.
I wasn't going to say that part, but yes, when your father was, I think he was. I'm not sure if he had passed yet or if he was ill.
Oh yeah,
he came to see you. Yeah,
he was close to it. That's right. Yes. Yeah. Oh, my heart. I know, but other than that, I haven't seen you in 500 years.
That was 10 years. That had to have been 10 years ago.
About a close. It was a little less. Was it? No, it was about 10 years
2011,
ago.
Right? When did your father pass?
Wow. I'm not gonna lie. I don't remember the year.
Oh, wow.
Wow. I think you're right. I think it was 2011. So yeah, wow, it's been 10 years. It'll be 10. That means it'll be 10 in May. That makes me feel better that it hasn't happened yet. So.
We didn't wait exactly 10 years. We said, it was just a little bit. But apart from, I'm always bothering you on social media and just being like,
which I love. Which I fucking love. Get that engagement, baby. I also just love hearing from you.
Well, I noticed that on the other side of the country, you're doing things that are very similar to the things that I do. So I think that's kind of fun.
I know, it's great because you are the one that actually went to film school and you actually know what you're doing. And I'm calling things a soft box. And what is it? A light box? A light soft?
I honestly don't know what you're talking about. I think it's just, an LED light I have a light right here that I kind of use for a slight dramatic effect a little bit.
It's like a box It's like a box that you put a cover on and the lights behind it, like when you see in a photo studio.
Softbox.
I
Softbox.
Softbox. Okay,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
No, I remember you were filming shit like a million years ago, but before I like even knew what the fuck I was doing. So
Well,
when I started doing it, I was like, oh, of course Jeff has a bunch of shit because you've been putting out like movies.
I put out one feature. I started on a second feature. COVID happened. So I did my first feature in 2016. I started on my
Right.
second feature last March, the weekend before COVID hit in March.
No.
I shot 20% of the movie, and now it's essentially dead in the water. Yeah. Yeah. And then I lost my job.
No. Stop.
Listen, you know what? We had it I'm so fortunate compared to what some people have gone through. It's really not that big of a deal. But I'll tell you something, and I'm sure you can relate to this being an artist. I don't know what it was. When I was making the first movie, I was like, there was a sense of urgency. Like if I couldn't succeed in this task, then I was going to die inside. Like my soul, like I would die.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then this time I sort of not failed, but I guess I'm at an impasse that will probably never be passed, but it doesn't bother me. Like I can accept this on its own terms, if you know what I mean. I can accept the situation and just sort of, it's not the end of the world. And I don't know why that is, but it's like a weird, interesting thing where you kind of grow.
Yeah. I think it's less scary because for me, I'm like, I realize how little it matters. Like I build it up and like how, like, it also doesn't matter how hard you work, you could still fail.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter like how perfect something is or how good it is or how hard you try. It could still, that's I think what's like interesting about being around people in LA is like I see the most hardest working, talented people that have done everything right and they don't succeed sometimes.
Mm.
So I'm just like, instead of being like a pissy bitch about it, I'm like, okay, then that means that what I do literally doesn't matter. Like who cares? I just have to put it out there and then see what happens. And then it feels like less scary.
Fill me in. So fill me in
Yeah.
on a couple of things. So I'm
Yeah.
trying to make sense of what happened after the last time we saw each other. And for no other reason than simply just life, you just life goes on. No, nothing bad or anything. It's just the way it is. But so what brought you out to LA?
Comedy. So we knew each other in Chicago when I was at Columbia,
Yes.
and I was studying music business.
Yes.
And I was like, my whole thing was like, I wanted to be a singer and I wanted to be an artist and a musician or whatever. And here's the truth is like, I wanted to be a singer and I wanted someone to discover me and then do the work for me. So like I loved it and I like can sing, but like I just wasn't willing to work for it. And so basically when I graduated, it like leveled everything out because like my last ditch effort was like, I'm gonna learn. Oh my God, so good to see you
That's
too.
my wife, everybody.
Hi, I know. Hi. Yeah, like when I graduated, I basically was just like, I have to start brand new, fresh. Like I don't know what to do. And so I had I'd always been obsessed with stand-up comedy and I never thought it was something that I could like actually do. And I did an open mic at what like early on at one point before I was like in college, and then I tried it for real, and I like did so poor. Like I ate shit so hard. Nick was there, my boyfriend was there,
By the way, say
and
hello to Nick for me.
I
I
will. He was so
remember Nick.
excited.
Yeah.
Yes.
Great guy.
No, so
Phenomenal guy. Great guy.
he's
Truly.
he's the best. I
Yeah.
love him. We found good partners.
We
We
did.
found really good we
And
we got lucky.
It was funny because I don't want to interrupt your story, but just quick sidebar.
No, you're not.
We both we both found them roughly at the same time, and both went through that turmoil a little bit, and we it kind of overlapped together. Remember that?
Yes.
When
It was perfect.
I remember when, I won't get into it, but you had, there was the X before, and
Yes.
right. And
I tell this story to everybody. I tell
Oh,
this
you
story
did?
to everybody that
Okay.
I was like heartbroken and
Yeah.
I was so sad, and I went over to your place and you were like, you didn't even like him.
Wait,
And
you
I
tell
was
that
like,
story with me in it, saying that you didn't like him? Really? Huh.
no, not about Nick. That's what I
Yeah, the
remember.
other
You were
guy.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, you were like, I don't even think you liked him. And I was like, damn, you're right. It was like the truest thing I've ever heard in
You
my
came
life. I was
over and
like,
yeah, you ate
and you
ice
were just
cream.
like, yes, I remember you were just like, and you were in the sweetest, nicest, most like caring way. You were just like, you didn't like him. Did you really like him? Like it was so good. I don't know if you remember that.
I don't remember saying that, but I will remember what I did say to you. I do remember, or
What?
no, I'll remember what you said to me. Sorry. This is what and I love this when you speak to people after it being such a long time and they remember some detail that you don't remember, and it's like a piece
Yes.
of the puzzle in the
Yeah.
story. I remember you saying very specifically, I remember you telling me that you also went home and curled up in a bunch of blankets and ate potato chips and ice cream, and it was like a cocoon, and you needed to do that
Yeah.
before you could blossom out. And then the other thing you said was you had an ideal that you wanted in a boyfriend, and you knew exactly what it was, and you kind of I forget what the list was, but you had a bunch of
Yeah.
things that you knew that you wanted. And then shortly thereafter, I don't remember how you and Nick met, but you guys met.
Yeah.
And you weren't sure, and then it was and now it's been a long time. It's been a long time. Mazel
Yeah.
tov. It's good.
Thank you. And your story I remember so well too.
We were in
I
a
mean, how
diner. We were in a
you
diner.
guys you guys have such
Crazy
a
story.
love story.
Yeah.
You have such an amazing story to tell your kids. I'm obsessed. Like when they're old enough to it's like my favorite fairy tale of
So
cuteness.
so go back to your thing. So you're in LA.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So I start stand-up comedy in Chicago. I ate
Oh,
shit.
right.
It was off. Like I did so poorly and I
Right. Nick
couldn't
was
stop
there.
doing it
Right.
after that.
Yes.
Yeah. He was there and there was nobody could lie. It was so horrible. And so I couldn't stop doing it. Like I just really needed it. Like
But
I
that's
loved
good.
it and it was great. I had never been more scared in my life and I was never scared of being on stage, but this horrified me and I just got off on it. So did stand up for years and then I really Chicago wasn't my place. Like it just wasn't.
How
I
long
love
did you stay
Chicago
there?
and the people I met. I stayed there for I think 8 years total.
Shut
Yeah.
up. You were there forever.
I was there for a long time because
Wow.
I stayed after I graduated and kind of floated
Right.
around and my dad died and everything and then at one point I lost my job and I went and visited my friend in LA and I was like, I fucking love it here. And I was like, I want to move to LA because if I moved to New York with the comedians are either going to New York or LA, and if I went
Right.
to New York, I was never going to go to LA. I was going to stay there. My mom was in close by. I was never
Right.
going to leave. I was never. So I was like, I got to go to LA first because otherwise I will never get there. And now I'm here, and
You
I
need a
mean,
car. You need a car though.
yeah, you do need a car. I love driving though. Like I love it and
Yeah.
I hate it and
Good for podcasts.
it's great. It's great for podcasts. My road rage is heinous.
Oh, I bet.
So, oh my God, you're drinking a Zevia?
Wait, are you drinking one too?
I was, and then I switched it to a diet Hanson.
See, I'm either drinking seltzer. I either drink seltzer on the show or I drink that. I'm currently. So here's the thing, and this is what's so funny about the videos you make versus the videos I make. Quick sidebar, because we're still telling your story. I'm putting it on the shelf for one moment. So
Sure.
you know, as you know, the condition, some of my conditions that I have, and that has translated into food, particularly sugar, where, and what happens is I go through these periods starting really in 2014. I was like, okay, I'm just going to like eat as little sugar as humanly possible. I lost so much weight. It was great, blah, 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 blah. And then like, I got to like November and like yo-yoed back and forth over these years. But what I started to do was, I was like, if I'm going, and here's the thing, and this is where like, I'm like I kind of wish we lived closer, because I feel like we would make
I do too.
incredible content. My food kink is weird shit that like just cotton candy flavored, like Cheeto balls, like whatever. And I got to try it.
Yeah.
I got to try that shit one time, at least just once. And I was like, well, let me start filming this. I'm going to call it the junk food journey, and I'll film myself. And then I can use the excuse that I'm making content while I destroy my body. And then, what takes it to the next level, what's even worse, what's even more insidious is, I don't know if you've ever heard of this. Maybe I shouldn't tell you, or maybe I should. It's called Universal Yums. And what that is food around the world that comes to you in a crate, the weirdest shit. And it's a subscription box. And they have like, and that's like truly my favorite, even more so than weird junk food, is that like, I just want to try. Yeah. I just want weird food from around the world. Salted egg yolk popcorn from Thailand, like haggis potato chips, just like also from Scotland, like just all these crazy weird things. And you know what the best part is? I don't want to eat it over and over. I just want to try it.
Yeah.
And then move on to the next thing. And so it's like I go peaks and valleys. And right now I'm just trying to stay sugar free. I'm eating sunflower seeds. I don't know how long. It's never forever. It's just I go as long as I can, and then I go, it's time to break bad.
Yes. Oh my God. Obviously I can deeply relate. Same issues for a million years. I think it's like interesting because when I started baking, it actually makes me feel more in control because I have a purpose towards what I'm making. Also, you have to be like sugar, I'm obsessed with. I love sugar. I will consume it. I mean, like exactly what you just said, like potato chips and ice cream. I used to eat so much ice cream. It was like unbelievable. Like I think about it now and I'm just like,
do you know that enlightened ice cream?
Oh, of course. I had like I had a series of years, Jeff, where I ate that. I was like, I'm eating it for a meal and I don't care. Like I was just like, I was just like, so I will jump on board with any of that. But like when I started like baking, I realized like when I bake, I have to be intentional and I have to put space between when I eat it and when I intend to make it. And so it makes me like think harder. I mean, that doesn't help me at 1 a.m. when I like pull it out of the fridge and sit it on the table. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I try to like give it away. But like I always think that when I bake something, I'm going to like sit down immediately and eat all of it. And that never happens. And I like love that. But I'm the same. I'm like exactly the same as you. I like want to try the weird stuff. Did your parents raise you with junk food or did they not let you have sugar?
So it was a weird dichotomy. Well, sugar was really my first drug.
Right. Same.
And that's how, when I like tell my story, I talk about that as, being a sensationalist and, like that and before, and like, just really, and my parents, it was so weird because like my mom would like not want to keep it in the house and try so hard to keep it away. But then at the same time, she'd like bribe me with it. It was like this weird, it was this really weird, messed up thing. And what's funny is my son doesn't have much of a sugar tooth. It's like he can take it or leave it. And my daughter is just like me. and just her synapses fire when there's sugar. So it deeply concerns me, because the thing is, it's like you give sugar and then you're going like, is this by creating more access to the sugar, is this a good or bad thing? If they grow up without the sugar, are they going to go hard like a motherfucker? Or is it like, if they are just given sugar, then they'll just take it for granted and it just be a regular thing, like wine in Europe when you're 15. You know what I mean?
That's like such a choice that everyone I know that's a parent has that same thing, because I just like, it's so hard to tell. Like, my mom raised me all organic. Like, she like
Really?
groceries, like, yeah, like she was like, her and her friends were like hippies that like believed that like the preservatives in food in the 90s was gonna like actually kill you. So like there was one time we were at a diner and I started eating sweet and low, and I have never seen, my mom lost her mind. It was like I was eating poison. And like, in retrospect, yes, it is poison, but like but it meant that like when I went to friends' houses and stuff and they had like Lucky Charms, I was like, I'm having 3 bowls. And like stuff like that. Or I would always be like, whenever I would go over to my friend's house, they were always like, "Ugh, great, you brought Lindsay over." Because I would always be like, "Can I have a snack? Can I have a snack? Do you guys have any fruit roll-ups?" Like, it was like, I literally went home from my first sleepover ever at my neighbor's house because they said they didn't do dessert in their house.
It's ambrosia of the gods.
I just like, I was like, "Oh, what's for dessert?" before we like had our sleepover, and everything was fine. I didn't miss my mom. I was just like it was like my first sleepover ever. And I was like, "It's great." And she goes, "Dessert? Yeah, we don't do that. I guess you could have some popcorn." And I was like, I have to go home.
Bye. Yeah, because you thought that it was like, your night to cut loose, and lo and behold, you're not going to get your kicks.
Just like such a deep attachment to sugar. But I think it's like, it's hard to know if that is like, because I also go above and beyond, but I definitely think the affinity towards the extra weird sweets, like the extra disgusting stuff, has to
Yeah.
do with the fact that like, I think it's an inner child thing though, because it's like, it makes me feel like a kid.
I
Like
see what you're
that.
saying.
Yeah, like that little kid that like was like told no. It's like, if I want to get 3 different kinds of chips, I'll get 3 different kinds of chips. And who the fuck is gonna stop me?
Right.
Like,
Well, I mean, that's also like, that's like going
yeah,
away to college and like shopping on your own and just being like, I can do whatever I want. And I definitely had, you know what I've had? I've had that with being a homeowner, and like something gets damaged, and like something gets damaged in my house, or I'm like doing something, I'm like, oh, I can't do that because mom and dad will be mad if this gets broken. I'll be like, wait a minute,
right.
this is my house. I own this house. Like, I could just, oh, I put a little dent in the ceiling, whatever. I mean, it's just like, I like, this is like, I don't have to worry about that. Like, that's like that. That's kind of
amazing.
I think it's the same sort of, and obviously like I would probably answer to the wife a bit, but it's like, it's just that I think that's partially, maybe growing up and still being a kid, maybe partially like being in better communication with your inner child, who tells you that it wants something, and then you go for that. And it might have to do with the fact that, for me, and the hardest thing, I gave up a lot. And once I gave up smoking, and you knew me when I quit smoking, and I was like, what vices do I have left? And that's when, I probably weigh like 100 more pounds than I did when you knew me. Like, I'm not kidding. I'm not. No, that might be an exaggeration. And no, because I wear it. No, because I wear it I filled out. But you want to know, it's not like, it's not all bad weight, a little around my tummy.
Yeah.
But like, it's, you know what it is? It's funny. It's just amazing what happens when you quit smoking. And it's like, all of a sudden your body sort of just shifts and changes. And like I felt like I put on more muscle, like weird. Like, I don't know. Like, I filled, that's what I mean. Like, I filled out. Like, I felt like I became a man when I stopped smoking.
Yeah. I mean, like, I loved smoking. I have like exactly the same sentiment. Like, I loved smoking, and then I vaped for years, and once I got a hold of
I
the
just wanted to
Juul,
try
it
it.
really took me down a real dark path. Like, it
Why?
was not I mean, like, I would wake up with it. Kept it under my pillow at night, and so, like, I would wake up, and before I would even be awake, I would start, like, puffing on my Juul, and I mean, like, I lived for it. I couldn't not have it in the car. If I forgot it somewhere, I would go immediately and buy another one. Like, I was like I I remember being at shows and open mics, and I would have it in my hand, and, like, I would just hold on to the vape until it dissipated so that I could do it inside, and, like, I did it on airplanes. Like, I just, like, if I figured out a way I could not be without it for
You
more.
can get
And
away
if
with that stuff.
anybody you can, and if, like, anybody said anything, I was like so defensive. But I also was like spending so much money, and I knew that I was like, I actually don't know when I ever will be ready to stop. That's the truth. Cause I was like, I don't really see any consequences. So I don't think I'll ever stop.
You're still on it now?
No, I did stop. I
Oh,
did.
good.
That's why it got me to such like a sad place where like when I tried to like actually it's like with smoking. It's like you try
Yeah.
to actually stop and you realize you can't, and then that brings you to a darker place when you're like sitting in your car and you're like, fuck, I had to go to the gas station. Um, so
Yeah, I mean,
you know.
I can relate to those. I can relate to some of that with sugar and with like, eating feelings and that's that whole thing. And for
Yes.
me, you were talking about like stuff with baking and like how you have to like partition. For me, um, it's like I have like a weird thing about containers. Like if I
Hmm.
take a container and I put X amount of whatever in my container, Mentos gum, if I put,
I love Mentos gum.
yeah, it's
Love
great.
Mentos
This
gum.
one's a good flavor. See, this is what I'm on right now. This is my
Yes,
jam.
the grape. The
Yeah.
grape.
You know
It's
what
my
you would really like?
favorite.
This is
What?
sugar free.
I've had it. I had it. I've had it. Trust
Shut
me. It makes me
what?
I swear to God, it makes me shit my pants. And I like the lemon. It makes me shit my pants,
Lemon
but
is
I
so
love
good.
it. The
Okay,
lemon
so
is so Wait, do you
this
have a
takes the
Sprouts
heat.
out there?
A what?
Sprouts? Or
No,
where do you are you
I ordered this off of Amazon because I was looking
Oh,
for xylitol, whatever it's called. Can't pronounce the word xylitol. Xylitol
yeah.
candy because I wanted to try and have something. And what I do is I pop one of these at night, maybe two,
Yeah.
2 or 3. It takes the edge off. And then what happens is as the chunks get smaller and smaller, it looks like meth.
Yeah.
It's like crack.
Yeah.
But as
Have you had Lily's chocolate?
yes, and I can't eat it.
Okay.
There's some things I can't
Well,
eat. I'll tell you
yeah.
why. Because as I was saying about the containers, so for me, I can sometimes, and has to do with like that part of the brain that we have, where
Yeah.
if if I'm eating a container and then the container is empty, and I've made a contract at the beginning of the session where I go, when this is empty, that is it. You are done. And then I
Right.
savor it slowly. Like I slowly savor it. It's something that I look forward to at the end of the night, like some sort of nightcap. And then once it's gone, I can be okay with that. If I'm taking from the big container of something, like pints of ice cream to me is a serving size. I cannot, for the life of
Same.
me, you can't eat half a pint. What human being, what monster, what freak can eat half a pint of ice cream and then put the rest in? And it's the type of container. It's not like a candy that keeps in its
Mm.
little bottle. It's like, no, this ice cream's going to melt if I don't all eat it.
The container thing I totally get. I have to like portion it out. It's like such a
Yeah.
but you know it's so funny, and I'm sure like The older I get too, the more my body like makes a full stop and is like, this like I physically can't handle. Cause I'll be
Hmm.
like, you know what? I'm gonna go nuts tonight and I'm gonna eat everything. And then like my body is just like wrecked. I'm like truly I'm sweating. I like can't sleep correctly. Like it for me, like it'll all of a sudden affect everything. I wake up and I'm like incredibly bloated. I'm irritable. My face, like, it's so fucking stupid.
So it's interesting that you say that because two things. One, so for me, and that this is why sugar is so dangerous for me, but yet I can't live without
Yeah.
it. Like it has to be in
Yeah.
my life, but I can't. I have to like. I have to do this thing where like it's like, oh, if I start on January 1st, I go as long as I can, and it's like, look, I can tell you that for a month and 10 days I've been good because I literally look at the date,
Right.
and that's like I love that. I can't start
Yeah.
on March 13th. It just doesn't work that way. Um,
Right.
but what's funny about sugar, what's dangerous for me in sugar is that like my brain, like I literally don't know how to stop apart from some of those things that we were just talking about, those mental, like,
Yeah.
trigger mental, whatever, tools to, sort of, and sometimes they don't even work, but when they do work.
Right.
Um, but what's funny, oh God, what was I going to tell you about? Here's what it is. For me, if I eat sugar too late at night, I will pass out, like hardcore pass out. Like my eyes will roll into it's like I go into a fugue state where my eyes kind of roll into the back of my head. And I'm just like
Yeah.
I'll have a movie on. My wife is already asleep. I'm downstairs, Breaking Bad, as I like to call it. And all of a
Yeah.
sudden I just go, I just fall out, man. And then the other thing, but I can still consume large quantities of sugar, but that's what happens to my body. The other thing though, and this is what's funny is, when we were in college, when I was younger, when I had the metabolism of a hummingbird, which definitely was aided by smoking cigarettes,
Right.
I could eat anything super late. It'd be like, oh, it's 1:30 in the morning. I better make myself a snack and eat it and totally be chill. Just earlier this year, I was like, I decided to get a bucket of honey wings at this, or not earlier this year, last year. It was last fall. I decided to get a bucket of honey wings, kind of like the Jules Osco honey wings that they used to have, which I love. Oh my God, I miss those.
Yeah.
But and I ate it at like 12 o'clock at night with mozzarella sticks. And let me tell you something.
Mm.
That's my favorite meal. Honey wings and mozzarella sticks, hand in hand.
Really?
Oh yeah, it's great. Great. Four or five mozzarella sticks with like a couple of pieces of chicken, and that is just the snack. And so
That sounds delicious.
yeah, but at like 12 o'clock at night, I'm eating this and I'm laughing about like, it's funny. I never blinked an eye when I was younger. This was so natural.
Yeah.
And as a 35-year-old man or 34-year-old man, however old I was, I don't know if it was before or after my birthday. Oh my God, my body was wrecked. I can't eat late at night. You can't do it. It like ruins your body. It like kills your body.
It's so funny. It's like such an anomaly because I keep trying to like pretend like I'm just imagining it, but like I remember going to bed, I remember eating a shit ton and then going to sleep and waking up in the morning and I felt like a new person. And now, and I used to make fun of my mom because we would eat like around like the holidays or something. We would eat a lot, and the next morning she'd be like, "Ugh, I'm still full from last night." And I was like, "Whatever, like you're giving me an eating disorder." And like now, if I eat too much, if I eat like an incredible amount before bed, one, I don't sleep because I can't be comfortable. It's not, and then I wake up and I'm literally full from the night before, and I'm like,
Right.
"Motherfucker!" Like it's
Right.
so, and it's crazy. Like it's so embarrassing because I love making these silly videos and being like, oh, trying this like crazy flavor. And then later, like I just did a Valentine's Day chocolate one and then like had to like sit down after I ate all the chocolates and was like heavy breathing, like, okay.
No, but like I see what you're doing, and I love. What's funny is you have you have way more, there's way more rhyme and reason to like the way you have done your video. Me is just like, I get a bunch of different peeps. I have like the birthday cake peeps. I have the watermelon peeps. I have and then by the end, I'm literally playing Chubby Bunny. You know, Chubby Bunny is a
But I
game.
love it.
Yeah, but Chubby Bunny is a game that you play with two people. And here I am with a camera and I'm playing Chubby Bunny by myself because I have no one else to do this.
I mean, it's you just call it mukbang.
Yeah,
That's like the best thing. It's literally like all you have to be like, hey, I have a friend who does videos and she's amazing. And she's at the point now where she has so many followers that like she literally is like Christmas Day mukbang and just like films herself eating dinner. I mean, it's sweet because she does it with the intention of like anybody that doesn't have anybody to eat with on Christmas could like do it with her. But like, right, which is really, I know it's really heartwarming. But at the same time, I'm like, bitch, you just filmed yourself eating for an hour? Okay. I mean, sign me up. Like, where is my, I try to have rhyme or reason, but I do essentially just like pull things off the shelf and get excited.
Like, but what's amazing is, and what I noticed you doing, I'm just like, God, like I was just laughing when I was seeing, I was like, she does what I do. Like I'm like, oh, that place looks sketchy. Like the Christmas tree store. I'm like, Christmas tree store is my favorite place in the world because they like go in there. And it's just like, it's like the island, it's not the island of misfit toys. It's the island of misfit candy. It's just all the weird, bizarre, like, you know, and again, if I see something that's like cotton candy flavored or buttered popcorn flavored, like Mike and Ike's, if they make 1,000 flavors of Mike and Ike's or Skittles.
Mike and Ike's are my favorite candy.
So good.
They're so good.
Yes.
No, I do this. I'm exactly the same as you. Like I feel like if we were to go somewhere that we've never been, everyone would murder us because I always have to go. I always want to buy the candy that looks crazy. Like this isn't supposed to exist. Or, it's like years and years old.
Yes.
Like I'll go and I'll get like, if I'm at like a bodega or something. Yeah. I'm like, this is like crusty. And like, that's why like I love the clearance rack candy because it's so funny because it's just like shit that sits on the clearance rack or the stuff that goes on sale that nobody buys. Like these companies.
It's bad ideas. These are bad ideas. Yeah. Right? That's what happens. They come up with a bunch of ideas and they go, what if we do this? And it doesn't sell, but they have so much left over.
Yeah.
And then people like us are like, thank God. You know?
Yeah. Well, sometimes you get really good stuff out of it. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know why this must be a bad marketing thing because this is like actually, there was some brownie brittle I had after Christmas that I was like, I mean, these are cookies. It's not brownie brittle, but they're delicious. So I don't know why.
It's also a texture thing with like candy and stuff. Like there's certain textures from, I like a great example we have Wegmans out here. I don't know if you're familiar with Wegmans. It's kind of like
oh my God, I miss Wegmans.
Oh, you know Wegmans. Okay. We just had one open up. They have
jealous.
Well, it's really great, and I'm very happy about it. And I'm sorry to make you feel jealous.
You're fine.
But they have a international section. So I'm going through the international section, of course, looking at all the stuff, and they have something called, oh my God, it's from England, and it's like a hard honeycomb covered in chocolate called crack. It's literally called crack or something, or crackle. Yeah, it's called crackle maybe. And it is the texture is so bizarre. It tastes okay, but the texture just totally like, and that's when like I get off on this stuff of like, not like in that kind of way, but like, this is like it's just my food kink. Like I just love this sort of stuff. And it's just the way it is.
It's the same. I haven't like traveled a ton, but anytime I've gone to a different country, I always have to go to like a 7-Eleven because that's where they have like all their like
Yes.
if there's a 7-Eleven type store, I go and I have to get all the snacks. Like when Nick and I went to Thailand like 4 years ago or something, I was like I mean like the street food, like we ate
Oh my God.
everything and there were 7-Elevens like every 5 feet and I
Huh.
would just go and stock up. They're really big on milk candy, like milk flavored candy,
Yeah.
which is interesting. And
Well,
so like
Japan is like that too.
yeah, like I think Asia just in like and so it was like a lot of like milk flavored candy stuff, which was interesting. And then they would have the cool potato chips, and then like
Mm.
it was just cool to try different things. And then like a lot of
Did you try
like
when you were out there? I'm sorry to cut you off. Did you
no no no.
try the pineapple salt candy? It's pineapple. It's a hard pineapple candy. I think this is incredibly popular
Mm,
in Thailand. And then it's salt on the inside, and it's the
I don't
best.
remember. I
It is so
I
bizarre.
know that we got
Universe,
durian
no.
candy. I
Was it
had to
gross?
get durian.
Gross?
It was I mean, it was, like, the worst thing. Like, there's just no reason, like
Rotten?
but it was, like, we were surrounded by durian, so
Right.
we were like, "Okay, we kinda have to do this." But,
Candied
um,
durian, or it's a hard candy flavored like durian?
hard candy flavored, like, durian. I've had
Wow.
durian ice cream, and it's equally disgusting, but, like,
What does it taste like?
it
I've never had it.
it's the whole thing is that it's a mind fuck because, like, it's I don't think it actually tastes that bad. But because your taste and your smell are so connected,
Yeah.
it smells horrific, but
Like
and it doesn't
unwashed feet?
taste
Like what is the smell?
like rotting flesh. Like, it tastes like I mean, it smells like rotting flesh, like, it's really repulsive, and but then, like, the taste of it is different, so it's really hard to, like I just don't care to, like, have that much confusion when I'm eating something. You know what I mean?
I get it.
So, I, like, find but, we went when we went to Thailand, I bought a bunch of stuff. I wanna go to I try to get all my Canadian friends to bring back stuff from Canada, and then, when we went to Mexico, I went to get a bunch of candy, and I learned that I, like, don't love Mexican candy, which is a
Spicy.
bummer.
It's spicy.
I I'm not here for that. I
Me
just am
too.
not.
Me too. You wanna know what's
I'm
good
just
though?
not.
You know what's good?
What?
I do like, and I've actually ordered it. I've ordered this
Really?
from Mexico. Well, it's not from Mexico. I don't know where it's from, but it's Mexican made. I love the chicle, the 5-piece chicle bubble gum,
Oh,
and
yes, yes,
the
yes, yes.
lavender flavor is
Yeah.
that's heaven to me. That is true. And you know the thing about
Yeah,
gum, it's like gum is the worst because it's sugar, but it's not something
yeah.
you consume. You spit it out. So it's like this weird in between place that is not like.
I've swallowed gum, though. I have a bad habit of swallowing gum.
Well, I mean, when
I
I was
eat it like
younger,
candy. Oh,
really,
yeah, no, I'm 33, and I still swallow it, and,
really.
like and so I have to, like, stop myself. But I'll do, like, a full I mean, my friends made I ate a full thing of Mentos gum in a day, yeah. I ate, like, a full thing of the great Mentos gum in a day, and I had such a stomachache, and I went over to my friend's,
'Cause
and
it's too
she was
much
like
artificial sweetener, man.
yeah, oh my god,
That's
yes,
sugar
all the
free.
gums,
That's sugar
all the
free.
gums. I know, and that's yep,
This is
had
my
it.
jam. Love that one.
That's a really good one.
Last
I,
good flavor.
it's so good, but then I, like, ate a whole thing of it, and then I had, like, the worst stomach ache, and she was like, "I don't get why you have a stomach ache," and I was like, "Well, I swallowed it," and she was like, "What?"
That'll do it.
I
Question,
was, like,
question.
so mortifying. Yes.
Do you like sunflower seeds?
No, I don't care for them. I mean, I don't dislike them. I don't have an opinion.
So what helped?
I'm not a seed girl.
Listen, I'm not into seeds either, but what I found was, it's true what they say, like what all the old Christian grandmas who are like, the idle hands are the devil's plaything. I find
Yeah.
it true. An idle mouth is the devil's plaything. And so what I do is I just mindlessly eat coconut flavored sunflower seeds, which is really
coconut flavored.
they're good. Oh, they're really good. They have a bunch of different flavors. And first of all, they got protein, they got fiber, but it
Right.
takes away, you know what it is? It's like I need to put something in my mouth, or I need to be, it's almost the act of, it's the ritual, just the way that we have our other rituals, like the ritual that's connected to the thing. It's a ritual that goes with it. And the ritual is almost more important than the thing itself. Like if you don't have the ritual, the ritual is the thing that you're breaking the law, or you're breaking your mother's or father's heart or whatever. It's because I need to do that ritual and I need to do it now. You know?
I do that with sugar-free popsicles. I do
Interesting.
sugar-free popsicles. Yeah.
Okay.
So I get like the good humor ones, like the
I've had them.
like the crazy colors or whatever. And I keep like a pack always in the freezer. And so
They're
then
like
it's like
dad.
right before bed. Yeah. I mean, like it's my habits are so weird. I just will eat
Really
popsicles.
quenches your thirst, though.
It does, and that's the other thing is I can't drink. I have to cut myself off after this because if I drink past a certain time at night, I don't sleep because I got to get up and pee. I'm just like,
So let me tell you
like,
something, Lindsay. I started doing this gallon of water a day, like for the first time ever. It's actually 8.9 gallons of water a day, if I'm being rigorously honest about it. And you want to know something? Drinking that much water sucks. And I continuously do it, and I've actually gotten to a place of fatigue where I like drink half of it and then I finish the next half the next morning. I'm in a deficit where I find myself burdened to try and keep the quota up, and I'm over drink it just, and then what happens is I have to go to the bathroom, and
constantly.
yeah, constantly. And I have to tell you, I'll get into bed at night and I feel like the slightest urge to pee, the slightest urge. And you know what it is? I feel like the princess and the pea. Like,
Yeah.
like I can't get comfortable until I've evacuated all the urine in my system. And it sucks, dude.
It sucks, and
So
it,
bad.
like, makes me feel like such an old person too because,
Yeah.
like, Nick will, like, bring a seltzer to bed,
Yeah.
and he'll be like, "Oh, yeah, like, I'm just gonna drink this seltzer before bed," and I'm like, "You're crazy."
That's
Like, you're
wild.
nuts. I can't even. Because there's no way. Everywhere we go, I have to pee, and, like, he has to just accept that I'll pee outside if I have to. He'll be like, "Please don't
What's wrong
pee
with
on this
that?
hiking trail."
Nothing wrong with
Because he
that.
doesn't it'll be like a public hiking trail, and I'm like, "You know what? I'm gonna do it anyway, and you're gonna deal with it." And so it's like, no matter where we go, I always have to find a bathroom.
I wasn't
Because
going to
I
say
try to
this.
drink a lot of water too.
I wasn't going to say this, but I'm going to say it just because I feel very
Say it.
comfortable telling you. When
You
I
should.
briefly toured with a band, I feel like I talk about this every episode. I learned how to pee in a bottle because you just can't stop. And so, that can be a very bad habit of laziness. And
Oh my god, I'm so
yeah, it's
jealous.
not, oh, you're jealous. Well, it's just, it's not. And then what happens is you got to get rid of the pee. It turns
Yeah.
into a whole thing. It's terrible.
I've tried to pee in a bottle before. One time we were at the beach
You got to get a
and
shiwi. Do you know about the shiwis?
oh, I have them now. I have
Yes.
the disposable ones for camping because but I'll
Cheers.
take them hiking with me. I'm obsessed. Like the first time I used one, we were camping and I was like, I'm gonna pee and I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna go outside the tent. And I started laughing maniacally. Just at the fact I was
The
like,
power.
what?
The
I was like,
power.
this is crazy. It was so fun. Never want to not do that again. But before that, my biggest accomplishment was at Gay Pride in Chicago. When I lived right by a 7-Eleven, I had to pee and I took a big gulp cup and I was wearing a dress and I just held it with my thighs and peed standing up, and I was like, I am a champion. I'm
That's actually
disgusting. Like,
no, I think that's really impressive, if I'm being honest.
I think it's really impressive too, and I was so excited, and everybody was like, "Okay, throw your pee cup away before you brag about it." And I was like, "I did it!"
This is why, like, I
But
miss all of our, like, friends and
I
sensibilities, and,
know.
like, I feel like it's just such a people don't understand these things, they just they don't
No,
get it.
it's yeah, I mean, such a fucking amazing. That's why I'm always like, I don't know, like Chicago wasn't my place, but like meeting people like you or were just like some of the most like meaningful people that have affected my life so greatly. Like that's that I'm like, well, yeah, then that's my people. And obviously I met Nick there too. So I always say that and it's like
Met Nick
poor
in
Nick.
Chicago, yeah. You know
Yeah.
what's funny though? I think back, sometimes, like, and I've returned to Chicago so many times over the years, and,
Yeah.
like, from time to time, I get nostalgic for that time period, or I get, like, melancholy that, like, that is the past and it doesn't exist anymore. You know what it is? Here's what it is.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that at the time, those were some of the best times of my life in terms of, like, just feeling alive and feeling so accepted and loved by so many people and having so many friends and always having
Yep.
something to do, and taking it super for granted, so that when life moves on, and I'm so happy and glad that life moves on. Obviously, you don't want to be doing the same thing over and over again forever, but I get sad. I'm like, oh my God, that's the past, and the past doesn't exist anymore. It's like super sad. But then I also think, like it's like it was an incredible time of my life. And I've spoken to other people that were in our community, who feel the exact same way. It was like this incredible time in our life,
Yeah.
and it's over, but we have these wonderful memories and these wonderful connections, and it's enriched our lives for the better. And that's it,
Yeah,
you know?
I completely agree. And I still stay like in touch. The thing is it's like nice about like most of us, even if we don't talk for long periods of time, we can jump right back into it. And I
It's been
still
that
like
way
will
every
talk. Some
time.
of them moved to LA. It really was such like an amazing. It was such a special time. Like it was really. I agree. It was like one of the best times of my life, and I just didn't realize it. And
Yeah,
but I'm glad I was able to be as present as I was.
right.
So, I'll take that.
Yeah,
But yeah, it was I mean, it was nuts. But it's like it is I get like I'll get nostalgic and then I just realize I think I'm just like nostalgic that I think it's like what I'm experiencing is getting older and
yeah,
time passing
true.
and being
I
like,
agree.
"Oh, fuck." Like, I don't feel old. Like, I don't feel like an old person, but then I'm like, "Oh, yeah." Like, that was, like, a whole period of my life that I don't want back, but I also, like, loved. Does that make sense? Like,
Right.
I wouldn't go
No,
ba
no, no, it does.
I don't wanna go live in my 20s again. I wanna go to nice grocery stores like Wegmans, like you were fucking talking about, and get, like,
Yeah.
nice grocery I don't wanna fucking eat off the floor. Like, that's I
It
wanna go
was
to
like
Whole Foods.
yes, yes, and it was just like, yeah, I mean, yeah, and it was I feel that exactly, and it's true. Like, I was a different person back then. I am
Yeah.
such a different person now, and
Yeah.
I love the guy that I was back then as well, but, like, I'm so glad that I know so many of the things that I know now. It's just like
Yeah.
it's just part of being alive and growing and
Yeah.
changing. And, like, for a great example, the person now, like, I'm a dad and I have you know what's funny? In the same way that we had like a community full of people and it was like really fun, I now live on a block, suburbia. I'm in suburbia, suburban dad, and I live amongst a bunch of couples who are all roughly in the same age bracket, all have kids the same age. We all are neighbors, and we have a poker game, and we do barbecues, and
Hell
it's like,
yeah.
what it's like friends, but if everybody moved out to the suburbs and didn't live down the hall from each other, we live next door or down the street, and it's like I
That
would
sounds
never
great
experience.
to me.
It's wonderful, and
Yeah.
I had no idea it was going to happen, and wasn't expecting it at all. And but what's amazing is I would never have this experience if I was just doing the same thing over and over and over again that I was doing in my 20s. You know, it was just a different time and a different place. You know,
Yeah, no, exactly. And I think what's interesting too, that acceptance and that like kind of circles back to like what we do now in terms of like getting like the craziest, weirdest foods. Like I was saying, like with like the inner child stuff, it's like you realize like, oh, the time is passing. It's okay. I want to appreciate like these experiences that I had. And like, here's this like thing. Food is so nostalgic. And
yeah,
so, it evokes so much emotion. And like, obviously,
and
yes,
personal and
yeah,
personal.
it's personal, the smells, the textures, the tastes, like everything you remember from when you were a kid, everything that you never got, everything, like all of that stuff, all and how it makes you feel. It's so visceral. And like, so there is something like really in touch with our emotions, in my opinion, by like specifically like being like, I want to find the weirdest, coolest, stupidest shit and I want to try it and I want to sit down and like for me, I like make it a thing. I like if I go to the store and I get it, I like lay it on the table. Even if I'm not filming it, I like literally will lay it on the table like a buffet and I will be like, okay, so we're trying like that's fun. And that I feel like that's like resonates with that like
It's a ritual. It's part of
yeah.
ritual. And for me, I need to, if I have like a bunch of different, I can't believe I'm talking about this out loud. I've never said this out loud.
Love it.
If I have like, let's say I have like 4 different flavors of something, I will group them into sets of flavors,
Mm.
like a flight.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I'm like, okay, the ones that I have the most common of, I'm going to eat those now. And then I
Yep.
have this flight and this flight. Okay. You know, like that kind of thing. And I just sort of group it together or, you know, and that's what I love about Universal Yums. So this box comes to your door. You open,
I
you have
have
to,
to
I'm
check
going to
it
send
out.
this
I
to you.
can't wait.
I'm going to
No,
send
no,
you
no.
the
Don't
video.
send it to me. I'm gonna buy
You
it.
you're just going to do it. Okay. I was going to say, I did an unboxing video and here's the thing.
I'll watch that. Yeah.
Okay. So here's the thing. I think these food food crates are like for me, I as I am for whoever doesn't realize I'm a sober person. So a food
Yeah.
crate for me is like heroin.
Same.
It's
Same.
like it's
No,
like
same.
yeah. So I
As
like
two sober people talking about
okay.
food, like this is so spot on.
So it's like but you know that thrill, you're waiting for the package, even if it's from Amazon, you're waiting for it to arrive. You can't wait for it to arrive. It comes, you open it up, you look through it, and instantaneously, like whatever you're gonna use or whatever it was, yeah, you'll use it,
Yeah.
it'll be okay. But the high, the
Yeah.
thrill that comes from, it's a cheap thrill that comes
Yeah.
from opening that package of uncertainty and especially that's what's great about the Universal Yums is that you open the box. Hey, this is I should get sponsored by Universal Yums. All the
You should.
selling. You open the box and you have no idea what's inside, and it's discovery. You go, oh my god! Well, you kind of know if you check on their social media. You kind of know, but I try to keep it a surprise. Oh, these are banana nut toffees from England. And the other thing too is they do. You can do a box. It's like you go to a different country every month, but then they do special boxes. Like the holiday box was Christmas around the world. And that's the unboxing video I did. And then, yeah, Lindsay, this is like the shit. And then the other one was, this is what got me started, was Halloween, was trick or treat candies from around the world. And they gave you a display box with little candy dishes from 6 countries. And that's how I found out about the Thailand pineapple salt candy. They had like a Colombia. It was from Colombia. It was like a purple. I don't know. It was like a purple, chewy toffee that was like sour in the middle. It was like, I'm sorry, I'm like getting high just talking about it.
No, I love it. It's like because you know what I love doing is going to World Market and going in their little gift basket aisle with all the different foods. That's my favorite. So this is essentially what this sounds like, except better. So, I mean,
Yeah,
honestly, you sold
I'll send you the
me.
stuff.
So if yes, send me the video because like I really want to now I'm really excited about it. But I feel you get like it's like a visceral excitement. I get excited getting that stuff and trying new things. Like it's cool. And I don't think it's just cuz like I'm a lame sober person. Like I also like genuinely like I maybe I'm sure there's a connection, but like there is such like an interesting emotional attachment to something like sitting there with like a pack of Twizzlers and like being like Twizzlers are better than red vines and like, like I don't know why though like it's so passionate. I'm like this is serious. I or like
Um,
different kinds of licorice.
how about like fantasizing? I fantasize about Jelly Bellies are one of my favorite candies of all time because of all the different varieties and flavors. And so I
Got it.
fantasize about different food companies licensing out their proprietary flavors to Jelly Belly. So for instance, my fantasy my fantasy is here's two of them. Ready? One,
Yeah.
like Pizza Hut or Domino's pizza flavored Jelly Belly. I know that's super
Ooh,
freaking weird, but like I want to
interesting.
try it. The other one that I think would be really good, McDonald's French fry Jelly
Yeah,
Belly
that's
with
a great call.
and you get a ketchup Jelly Belly. And then what you can do is you have a ratio. Let's say you have 12. So you get 4 ketchups to 12 French fry Jelly Bellies. So you can like, oh, you know what? I feel like having some ketchup. So, you do because you
Yeah.
can combine the things too. So
This is an amazing idea. Like truly, and I'm not even joking. Like this is so brilliant. It's so weird that McDonald's has not like I would have a cheeseburger one too though.
oh my
You know what
God.
I mean? Like
McDonald's
I would
Big Mac flavor. Oh my
yeah,
God.
and the idea that you would have a ketchup flavored one that you could then put like eat with the other ones, that's so brilliant. That's
They have weird shit
crazy.
like mayonnaise
No,
flavored soda and like pickle flavored
yes.
soda, like all this weird shit. Why can't they do it for
I
jelly?
love it. Yes. Well,
No,
like, it's funny. I did a video where I tried to do like the Fiery Five Jelly Belly challenge. Like, you know what I'm talking about?
no, I'm not
There's
familiar
like
with that.
there's like hot pepper flavored jelly beans. And I was like, this will be funny. It's candy. And like almost threw up. I was like, all right, they took this too far. Cause it was like, I mean, like it tasted like a jalapeno and it was like nauseating. Like it was crazy. It really was upsetting. So I would suggest you trying that if you're into that. But that's also why I bake and why I like creating desserts because
Very creative.
I want the weird flavors. I
Yeah,
want the weird
yeah.
stuff.
Mhm.
And like
I
I get to do that if I create it.
yeah,
Like
it's
that's what's really fun is being like, you know what? I'm gonna put pretzels in this because I fucking feel like it. Like
yeah, you do this on
that
Twitch. You're a Twitcher.
I did for a while and then I stopped because the return just like wasn't as it just like the people that followed me were incredible and I love them, but like nobody would it also like for how long it took, like I would live stream for hours because I would literally make cookies from scratch or I would like make a cake from scratch. And it would be hours long of just streaming and then I would have to clean up and I would spend 3 hours and then I would like it just wasn't
Oh,
enough of a return. I know. I know. And people were like, "Oh no, we loved it." And I'm like, "Well, you weren't there for the 4 hours and the
yeah.
hour after that I spent cleaning my whole kitchen."
That's why I love this is StreamYard, what I'm using, and it's free.
Yeah.
And this is like, look, you could do all sorts of cool jazz with it. I mean, you could do, there's a lot of stuff
Ooh.
like you can show comments if people comment. The Misfits show that I do is the most popular one, and I can get I get I can literally talk on here for 3.5 hours, and I have people leaving me so many comments that I can just keep commenting, and it keeps the conversation going. And
That's the most
it's a lot
fun.
of
I
fun.
love the
Yeah.
interaction. I miss
Yeah.
the interaction of live streaming because I love live streaming and interacting like that, but especially while baking. And that's what I did when I did my live show in LA. And that's what I missed too. I basically like turned it into like a live cooking comedy show, and that was so much fun. And so now I can't really
I
do
was about
that,
to
which
ask.
sucks.
So there is comedy. Did the baking? Let's go back to the story for a minute. So you go out to LA, you start doing
Yeah.
stand-up comedy. And again, that's what I understand. Like when you initially start out, you don't want to have people that you know because and that's part of like the thing about for anybody who watches this, and I'm sure Lindsay could talk about this way more than me, is just simply that the comedy world is like this its own microcosm in and of itself, where there's like codes of honor, and you got to eat it, and you got to earn. A huge thing is you got to earn your bones, and you can't like
Yeah.
do this or you can't do that, or you can't, and the worst thing you could do is obviously steal a joke, and that's what happened to Carlos Mencia or whatever, yada yada yada, that whole jazz. But
Yeah.
are you in this scene at all, like this LA comedy scene, or how does that?
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, when I started in Chicago, I got into the Chicago scene, but I was only like 3 or 2 years in when I left for LA. So I knew a bunch of Chicago people, but I mean, everybody was like, you don't leave Chicago until you've been doing it for like 8 years. Like, you shouldn't leave unless you have a reason. And I was like, I gotta go. So it was an unpopular, it didn't fit like the code of conduct.
You did Second
But
City?
yeah, no, no. I just did shows and open mics and Laugh Factory and like all the clubs and stuff. But coming out here, the scene is split up into like two different sides to a certain
Mm.
degree. There's the alt scene, and then there's the club scene. So you have like the Comedy Store and the Laugh Factory, like all these, and there's like a specific kind of comic, the kind that makes money, um, that is looked down upon by the alt scene, because the alt scene is like the real comedy.
Underground.
And yeah, and it's like fun. And to be honest, like I've found better people. That's kind of where I sat. Um, but I was like, I had an open mic that I hosted for years, and I hosted shows, and so I was like, I'm definitely like a part of the LA comedy scene. I'm not successful, but I have friends.
Well, I mean, that's a thing too. First of all, when I hate this word successful, I hate it. It's the worst
Yeah.
word ever, because the truth of the matter is there's so many things in the arts where like it's not successful. What it is this making me enough money that it's my day job? That's
Yes,
ultimately.
it's also success is so relative because it's like, and stand-up comics, you don't have to become like a washed up comedian if you accept that success comes in different ways, right? Like, I think a lot of like what I was like introduced to comedy as being is like strictly stand up. You go on the road and you tour and you get on TV and you do TV sets and like you're just doing stand up. Um, is so untrue because then you have these people who are like, well, I wrote a TV show and, I didn't do stand up that much, but I wrote a TV show. And then all of a sudden they're successful and everyone's like, what the fuck? And it's
Have you
like, well,
seen that
why
happen a
not?
lot? Have you seen that
Oh
happen a
my
lot?
God. I see people come at it like somebody will show up on the scene. They've been doing it for 2 years. Everybody poo-poos them. Doesn't matter if they're talented or not. And most of the time, if you're new, like you're not as good at stand up as other people. I don't fucking know. Whatever. Everyone's like, whatever. And then they land a role on a TV show and they blow up and everyone's like, "Come on." And or they get a writer job. They get a job as a writer because they sat it instead of going out every night, they were writing every night. So like, and you see that happen enough and you're just like, why do we keep pretending like there's one way to do this? There's like not one way to do this.
Does that come from now, what's interesting, this is so, I find this, and I find the comedy world fascinating, and my limited
Yeah.
exposure is from, obviously, Joe Rogan is a very polarizing figure, but he's kind of like, as Roland, remember my old roommate and best friend, Roland? He is kind of like the Oprah for men in a weird kind of way. He
Yeah,
just
he
is.
is.
He's just something that us men, we just enjoy Joe Rogan, and sometimes
I
he's
know.
out of order. Sometimes I find him to be out of order, um, but I have sort of seen a peek, a sliver of probably something that I really truly don't understand in the comedy world when he has his comedy guys come on and then they talk about the LA scene and yada yada yada. And
Yeah.
the thing that I always hear about is, and which is kind of like the reason why I'm bringing this up is because you're kind of talking about this idea of you gotta start at the bottom, you gotta eat shit, and you gotta earn your bones. And from what it sounds like, in like that feeling of, I don't know, like come on, like, oh come on, like, or maybe if it part of like a sliver of resentment or whatever it might be, that like that I'm not, I've been doing this for much longer, and seniority truly doesn't mean shit. And yet it sounds like in the culture of the community, it's all about that. It's
all about that. It's very high school. Like it's
Mm,
very high school. So it's
interesting.
like if you've been doing it, if you're paying attention, you'll be like, this person's like a class under me, or this person's a class above me. That's like how people will say it out loud.
Quantify that more. What
So
does that
so
mean?
there's like a class of comedians that came out of Chicago right around the same time as Kumail Nanjiani.
Okay.
And so they go, "Oh, well, we were in his class."
Oh my God.
And
Okay, I get it.
and
Wow.
then there's the Beth Stelling class. And then there's like, there and like people will be like, "Oh, well, like I was there, but like I was technically there, but I was under the Beth Stelling class." Like, so
Oh,
I
interesting. So
was
that's how you
like, yeah, like I
know.
existed within it. And we make up these rules, and it's like, and to a certain degree it's important because it's like you did have to eat shit. Like I've been doing comedy for 10 years now. So it's like, you know, when someone with 2 years comes in, I mean, but part of why I hosted an open mic for so long was to like fight this like instinct to like squash people when they start. But um, like when I first started, like it was very like you have to earn your place. And
Yeah,
like the truth is and the entertainment industry does not work that way. Like in a microcosm
right.
of it, it does. Like there's certain people that do. Like Joe Rogan's a great example of someone who like he did things a certain way, and therefore everyone else should do it that way. And but like here's the thing, Joe Rogan has pulled people randomly and been like, this person's cool, and then they blow up. So it's like,
Right.
well, they put in their work? Like,
Right.
so it's but that's not how the industry works in general. It works through nepotism, it works through favors, it
Who you
works through
know.
happenstance.
Who you know.
Everything it's also just luck. Like literally just luck
Yeah.
of like something happens where like it's like kismet, so it's really like it makes no sense. And like we all drive ourselves crazy trying to be like, okay, this is the stuff. Like Just for Laughs festival is like an ongoing joke and like terrorizer of the comedy community, because Just for Laughs in Montreal, you audition for it as a new face, and if you're chosen as like a new face, you do a showcase, and you're then presented towards all this industry, and that's supposed to like be the start of your career in so many ways, but it's all rigged. Like nobody's popping up out of nowhere. They want people that have been on TV before. People that are auditioning for SNL have auditioned for years. These
Mm.
people like already have plenty of stuff. Like I know a bunch of people that have been on SNL, and they have been doing this for years, and that's like not their big break. You know what I mean? Like they've been in movies, they've been on TV, go on their IMDb. They've been doing shit. So like we
Is that
make up
something that
these
happens?
rules.
I'm so sorry. I just want to interrupt real
No,
quick.
you're fine.
Um, is that what happens? Is this something that happens in LA where it's just like you meet someone, you're like immediately learn their name and turn around and like check their IMDb to like see what they've done or whatever? Like,
People totally do that. I never do that. I don't do that with I don't do that with comedians because I just don't trust us. And I feel like and also it also like you learn like it doesn't matter.
right. Of
Because
course
it's
it
like
doesn't matter, but
you get that one TV credit and then you hold on to it for like the rest of your life and you're like, but I was on this TV show.
oh,
And it's such like a weird world of madness, but the pandemic has leveled things in a way that's been really cool because
hmm.
people aren't doing stand up. Like the clubs aren't open. Um, Everything is shut down. The only people that are doing stand up are the ones that are touring, unless there's like an outdoor show. So the scene has kind of been eradicated. So it's like, if that's all you were doing, if you were like the 7 nights a week stand up
Oh,
comedian,
wow.
what are you
Wow.
doing?
I mean, you know, I always wonder like if that was me, I would honestly just be trying to make stuff on YouTube. You know, I would be trying
Yeah.
to like just make content. I mean, that's what I ultimately realized when I was, you know, here's the thing about like the same thing with like so in like the indie horror community, that's my community. And there's like a
Yeah.
whole community of us all on the East Coast, and it's really cool. And the
Yeah.
thing about that is there's no money in it at all. And it's like we do
Yeah.
it because it's like, you know, it's what I do this because it's who I am and what I do. And like if I don't do it, my soul will be dead, like that kind of thing.
Right.
But it's not the type of thing that's going to make me any money. I'm literally, it's like being an artist. It's like being an artist for the sake of
Yeah.
the art, you know? But what's funny is, you know, what everybody's chasing is a distribution deal. Like my film has
Mm.
picked up this or picked up that. And what's funny is it's literally validation. That's all it is. There's no money in it.
Yeah.
It's literally about the optics of saying, I got picked up by Uncorked Entertainment or I got picked up by whatever. They're not making any money. They just have the prestige.
Yeah.
They've given away their intellectual property, whether it was worth anything or not. They've given it away for whatever they signed it over. Or, oh, I got picked up by Hulu or whatever. You're not making any money. You're just validated in being the thing. And what's interesting is, and what you were talking about, leveling the playing field. I know it sounds really crazy, but really, truly, you could be doing every single thing that you want to be doing in whatever, you know, art, you know, sector that you're in right now with YouTube. Yes, it's like yes, you might be a single carbon atom in the Indian
Right.
Ocean or the Atlantic Ocean of content that's out there. But I mean, I essentially, you know, when you think about it, with this camera and this microphone, I have worldwide distribution and my complete creative control of my own show, even though it's like a nothing, you know, but it's just kind of interesting how
No,
like,
but
you
when
know,
somebody asks, what do? You send them a link. Like that's the difference is you have a catalog of work that like, and that's the thing with creators, like our issue is like, I think a common theme among creators is like the output of work. You know what
yes,
I mean? Like,
that is
that.
what I live for. Like my body of
Yeah.
work. And that's why like I wanted to make a feature length film and I wanted to make another one because you know, my pyramid when I die is like, you know, besides my children is like is like the work that I've
Yeah.
put out into the world. And that's what I'm like, you know, and it's like this, it's crippling. It's terrifying to think that like, I
Yeah.
have to get back on the horse. I got to make another one. I got to make another one. I got to do another thing,
Right.
you know?
Right.
And
But it's like, that's what we're doing with this. And that's the thing. It's like comedians make fun of YouTubers. Like that's the thing. And that's why like I kind of make fun of it because it's like I mean, and YouTubers are hilarious. They're fucking weirdos. But like
why? What is
they're
it that they don't
also
like?
well, it's just like the whole thing. I mean, I don't know. It depends on who it is, but it's like there's just this like sense of pride, I think, at the very least in the comedy community of like if you try too hard, that like you're a loser and you're corny. And so, and like you have to try hard if you're doing YouTube. Like I'm editing my videos and you have to say the stuff. You have to be like, subscribe, like, blah, 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 blah. And like, yeah, it sounds exactly. It sounds stupid, but it's like that's the stuff you have to do. I literally have to like force myself to get up and like put on makeup and like not like have this like bad attitude about posting on social media, because otherwise I'm just like a shitty little bitch about it. But like that's like the thing is like these YouTubers, like what one thing I realized, it's like when my reps like go to present me and nobody knows who I am, right? Like everyone's like, who?
Sorry, what's your rep? Explain that to me.
Oh, my manager and agent.
Gotcha.
So like when they go to like try to like evangelize me, God bless their heart, to people, and they're like, who the fuck is this? I haven't been on a TV show. I don't have a set on TV. You can't go to all the places that I don't have a Comedy Central set. I don't have a set on Netflix. So like they're trying to figure out who I am. And what do? They go to YouTube and they're like, oh, she does this live show. I don't get it. Oh, she bakes. I don't get it. And now they can go to like my YouTube, and there's a body of work.
Right.
And they go, oh, I know exactly who this person is. I understand her character. I don't have any questions. I know what she works for and what she doesn't.
And that's the problem with stand-up comedy, is that if you're doing live set after live set after live set, and then you're doing it 7 days a week, and then COVID hits, and then suddenly, and isn't that the thing about comedy, is that it's your proprietary blend? You can't give it away until you have the special. I never understood that. I never understood that.
It's honestly, everybody has different rules about it. Like some of the jokes that you're seeing on like new comedy specials, comedians have been doing for 10 years. Like it's
Crazy.
so bizarre. Like it's really weird. Comics are so odd.
Right?
They'll retire it, and and some comics are like, I'm gonna write a new hour every year. Some comics are like, it took me 10 years to write an hour. Like it's honestly, it's all over the place, and it's gotten like less traditional. But yeah, it's like it's really silly, but it's like I'm really proud and I'm really grateful that I adapted, and that I had started to adapt before the pandemic by like mixing my baking and live streaming, and I was like, I had the equipment,
Right. So it's you create with what you have, and you make it, and in doing so you're also doing something that's unique. And I got to tell you, I don't really know of any other sort of baking comedy, so I think that's kind of it's kind of like unique in that way. It's pretty interesting.
Thanks. Yeah, I am.
It's a niche. What I mean to say, it's a niche. You're doing a niche.
Yeah. Yeah, and it feels true to me, which is cool. Like it's not something that I was like, what would be brilliant? Comedy and baking.
Okay.
Like it was like.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No.
No. I wasn't gonna say anything.
I just thought of the best idea for you in
COVID
times. Like literally, this just came to me. This happens. Like I have this ability to think of good ideas for other people, never for myself.
Yeah, of course.
This is, oh my God, like tell me someone's not doing this in LA. And like, this is so take everything, essentially do what you're doing. But what you do is, just like how like you have like the wine and painting class where everybody paints the same picture. What you do is that you go up on stage and you bake or you make something for everybody while you're doing your comedy, and then at the end you give out your cookies or whatever.
That's it. That was my live show. That's exactly
what I did. Live show. That was the live.
Well, that was the show I did a show like that in person.
Oh,
and I called it Bake Stuff, where like no, but like
I see. So then you translated it to YouTube. Okay.
Yeah, so, like, I started out doing a live stream on Twitch, and then I was like, "I wanna do a live show." So, like,
Oh,
I found a co-working space that had a
gotcha,
huge
gotcha.
kitchen, and I would pack everybody in the kitchen,
Amazing.
mm, and I would, like, theme it,
Is there
and we would
video for
make
that?
something. Yeah, there is. There's some, like, older video of it, and I've gotta pull up somewhere. I think I have it, like, on a hard drive or something, but, yeah, there's video. I would, like, throw dough into the audience, and we would play games, and,
Yes.
like, somebody came up and, like, ate a stick of butter, and,
Amazing.
like, it was just, like, really fun, stupid, and I miss it. It's you can't really recreate it, uh, online. I tried. It's just not
That's
people
like
don't want to
destination
engage in the
comedy,
same way.
though.
I would love to. I'm dying to do the show again because I know exactly what I would change and how I would streamline it. But
Barbecue in a park. You just get a
I
grill.
know,
Just like everybody stays super, super far away from each other. You get someone to dress up in a really weird costume, and they're like the food
yeah.
butler. They're like the food butler. They're just like
But then
passing it
I
out.
can't. But then it's like, is it safe to share
No,
food?
no,
Like
it's
I
not.
know that's the thing. It's like
Can't
I
do it.
wanted to, but that part of the fun is like making people eat it with you.
Oh my God. You
And
could tour on that too. It's like you go to different kitchens around. I mean, I'm talking about pre-COVID. Can't do this now. Can't do this now.
yeah,
Or maybe post-COVID. Just like go around. It's like you're cooking, telling jokes. Like what a great, truly a niche sort of
yeah.
situation.
I mean, I that's exactly what I wanna do. I mean, I wanna talk to real bakers too
What
and,
do you
like,
think?
interview them.
I'm sorry. I'm like so terrible tonight. I keep interrupting you.
No, you're not, you're fine.
Why can't that translate? Or what gets, I mean, I guess it's the live audience element, but like,
Yeah,
I'm just like thinking like about like, how could you do that in a more receptive way on YouTube that would, because it's from what it sounds like that doesn't translate well, obviously for obvious reasons.
yeah.
But like, God, it's
You
a
know,
great idea.
I'm getting there, I'm working into, like, the idea of making it more, like, comedy while I'm baking. I mean, for a minute, I was like, I've also had to figure out my identity on like who like refine that a little bit more as to like where I sit in the baking and comedy world and like I'm inclined because of the way people make their food content that if I'm going to be baking that like I need to be teaching them something and I think I've decided that I'm not going to do that. Um because I don't like sometimes I nail it and sometimes I fucking fail. Like I have nothing to teach you. And so like if you learn from me fucking up, great, but like I'm not gonna try to give you a recipe for something that I change every time I make it. So now that I'm focused more on the entertaining piece of baking, I think I can now streamline that a little bit better into videos. And so I'm going to play with voiceover with one of my next videos and see what that looks like. But yeah, I'm
Voiceover.
just playing.
That's great. And you want to know
Yeah.
what? I think first of all, I think that's phenomenal. Second of all, and the best part is that it's just like what you said about like the luck thing. No matter what your
Yeah.
goal is, if you just keep doing this thing that clearly drives you and makes you happy and you make it the best that you can make it, that by doing that, and you know what they say about, especially because we got to talk about pizza in a second. I have to
Yeah.
ask you the thesis question for my show.
Oh,
Um,
and I have it. I have the answer.
did I already send you the question? I
Did
sent you
you? I thought
maybe.
maybe you did.
Is pizza punk?
Maybe.
That's the question.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. So before we get there, shit, I just forgot what I was going to say about your.
Sorry.
Oh, you know what it is? It's that the fact that, again, going back to the idea of being on YouTube and doing something and making it the best way, in the same way that someone makes a really good slice of pizza, and
Yeah.
word of mouth will spread. People will find that pizza joint and people will come. And then you know, I don't know if you've noticed this about pizza joints or just places that serve food. If you serve really good food, you don't have to be nice to people. It could be
Yeah,
super.
absolutely.
You can just be like, "Fuck
Oh
you,
my God.
fuck
Yeah,
you, shut the fuck
absolutely.
up." And they're like, "Here's money. Can I please buy your
Yeah,
muffin?" And you're like, "Yeah, I'll take your money and fuck you because you want to know something?
yeah,
I got a product that's so good, I don't need your business."
yeah, yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
And,
No,
you
I
know, it's
agree.
yeah. So, yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. But okay,
No,
so
I
let me ask you
agree.
this. Is pizza punk? And if it's punk, why is it punk? And if it's not punk, why is it not punk? And the answer is subjective, so there's no pressure. Whatever you say is the right answer, essentially. So,
Okay, so on instinct, pizza is not punk because it's an appropriation of Italian culture. And like as far as I know, they weren't making pizza. I'm pretty sure we invented pizza the way we do it. So in that sense, like normal pizza that like masquerades as like, traditional, that's not punk. What is punk is when you put macaroni and cheese on pizza, or when you even the pineapple pizza is punk because that was someone going, I don't give a fuck. I will put that someone was like, I don't care about Italian flavors. I want to put ranch on my fucking. So that's where pizza gets punk. But I also think that calzone is kind of punk just because like someone was like leftover dough, shove it, like we don't want to fucking make a full pizza. But yeah, I think like normal pizza not punk because it's copycat. It's not, it's corny. But
gotcha.
weird pizza is punk for sure. That's my
That
answer.
I have to tell you, I truly enjoy asking this question to people because I love the creativity in the answers and like all the different ways that it is or is not punk, like that get passed down or
Yeah.
things that I never thought about. And that was a phenomenal answer. And question, did you ever then if and by the way, if what you're saying is true, then there's nothing more punk in Chicago than Demo's Pizza, aka Ian's Pizza. It used to be Ian's. And yeah,
I lived right by there, and that is when I think of macaroni and cheese
Wrigley
pizza,
Field?
I think I lived in Boys Town.
Oh, that's right. You lived in Boys Town, so you went to the
Yeah.
same that was also my Demos as well. That
Yeah.
was my
So
spot.
like that
Yeah.
at
Smokey and the
late night
Bandit.
pizza.
Yeah.
Yes, like late night pizza, that was it. Like that was like I
Big Mac
always think of
pizza.
their macaroni and cheese pizza was so
Yeah.
fucking
That's a
good.
religion right there.
I was
Totally.
like, "Oh, okay, this is insane. This is like," yeah, absolutely. So
Taco pizza.
that is a very punk pizza place.
Oh, love the anytime I'm in Chicago, I have to go. They had apple pie pizza. I've had s'mores pizza there. They had
No.
yes, they once had s'mores pizza. It was Nutella with marshmallows on pizza dough. And Inav and I are
Love it.
we're big pizza fans. As a matter of fact, speaking of Wegmans, they do a wood-fired frozen pizza, but it's wood-fired. So what you do is we have a round cast iron skillet. Folks, this is the secret. If you ever want to make pizza at home that feels like takeout pizza or whatever, like pizza from a place,
Yeah,
what you do is you have to get the wood-fired pizza. It's super key. Make sure it's
yeah,
wood-fired. Get yourself a round cast iron skillet. Make sure it's got the olive oil on it. Preheat that sucker to like 400 degrees with the skillet already in. Leave your frozen pizza standing out. You don't want to leave it. You want it to thaw naturally, and then you take that motherfucker and you slide it in, and the olive oil at the bottom of the cast iron skillet crisps up the bottom. You feel like you are eating a pizza straight from the restaurant. It cost you $5. And like I'm a big fan of the wood fire, like the Napolitan style. So you get that
yeah.
sort of rustic, the non-punk pizzas, you would say. And and it is like having it's the best. It's honestly the best, and
Yeah.
it's so rewarding because you feel like you've unlocked this secret of you feel like you've unlocked this like secret that you're not supposed to know about. And so
I'm gonna try that next time for
you got it.
sure.
Round cast iron skillet. You don't need a pizza stone. All that bullshit is bullshit. Just a round cast iron skillet is the missing key, and then the heated olive oil is what crisps up the bottom of the
That
pizza.
makes
I like
sense.
that. You know that when you hit it and it goes like when you hit it and you feel that you hear that little, you know that you know it's good to go. So that's how we
Yes,
do. And
that's great.
listen, I really want to. We're slowly landing this airplane. I really want
Sure.
to. I'd like to take. I went to the trouble of compiling them. I know we didn't need them, but I feel like we should take a look at some old family photos from a long time ago. And things.
I would love it.
Okay, and you know what's interesting? I have things. I think I have some stuff that you may not even remember that I haven't even watched it myself, so I have no idea what it is. It's just fun, and if you want, I can send them to you if you want, just to have them for yourself.
Yeah,
Whatever.
already. Okay. Yes.
Okay. So, it's funny. You before you got into video production yourself, you were making videos in the sense that one day, because when I was in film school, I would still shoot stuff all the time. I just loved having a video camera. We did Louis. Remember Louis, myself, and this guy Doug. We did the gallon challenge, and I just had my video camera on that. And you know what the most rewarding thing is? That exists. I can still remember that. That it's there. That's a beautiful thing. That's why I love.
It really is.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
And so I'm always was filming things, little sketches, and one of my favorite muses was our mutual friend Adam, who I still talk to this day. We're still Biffs, so we still keep in touch.
Adam.
And he's back in Chicago now. And yes, he just he came back last year. And one day I said to Lindsay, I was like, Lindsay, come over. Just again, brief overview. Lindsay and I went to school together. Went to Columbia College in Chicago, and we had a lot in common. And at the very beginning, it was like you. What I remember is it was always like you, me, and Graham, because we all lived in the same building. And we would have, what's funny about Lindsay and I? We spent an incredible amount of time at the original Playboy Mansion, if you could believe it. It was, there was a facility. There was a facility there, or whatever. It was like a clubhouse, whatever you want to call it. And we spent a lot of time. I don't forget what street that was on. It was on one of the streets.
Was it off Dearborn?
Dearborn, yeah. Because you could walk to that diner. Remember that diner where everybody used to eat at?
Yes. What is it? What was it called?
Seventh Heaven?
No, it was something else. It was I want to say it was like
Chicago
Target.
Ave. It was on Chicago Ave.
Oh, yes. I can't remember.
Portillo's was the other place.
No, it had a weird name, and I can't remember. I know exactly what you're talking about.
People got the omelets. Yeah. People loved the omelets there. It was an omelet.
And it was all very mediocre food, and we all just But
that's what it was about. That was it about.
Yeah.
And so it used to be, and then what I remember is our friends Javier I started hanging out with Javier and Darren and Elizabeth, and I'm trying to remember there was some other people, Susan, and slowly our community, we started to sort of connect and grow, and this whole little community, it was a wonderful, beautiful time. And I'm saying all this because I want to give context to these photos and video. And we spent a lot of time all hanging out. Sometimes we'd go to this gothic nightclub called Neo and dance. Yes,
of course I remember Neo.
Yeah, Neo, which is no longer, it's RIP, sadly. And or a great example is there was just always a party, or watching Star Wars. Like the same people would all get together and watch Star Wars at our friend Nicole's house, and we would all sit there and just hang out and watch Star Wars. And we just would have the best times. It was like it was like Rent in Chicago, but like
It was
no one.
great. Yeah.
It was just really nice, Just what I mean by that, it's just like a bunch of 20 somethings just all together, hanging out, again, like not realizing that it's the best time of our lives, and like in the sense of like, just like being young and free and not having anything like, holding you back or tying you down or anything like that.
Yeah.
And just a beautiful time. And so these are, I thought, since Lindsay and I are having a reunion that is a decade in the making, why not look at some of these photos and see if it brings back memories and yada yada yada. So I'm gonna do
Sure.
that now.
Well.
All right, so I'm going to share my screen here, and we're going to start
Okay.
off with. Whoa! Look at that one.
Yes, that was the sober prom. I remember.
That was a prom, and where
And
everybody.
all of these, I'm gonna be so tan from working at that tanning salon.
Oh, right, you worked at a tanning salon. I remember this. Yes, yes,
Oh
yes,
my God, it's
yes.
so tan.
Yeah. You were very, very tan back then. You were. But that's
This is great.
I was super skinny. I was just fresh off of not being a smoker, and my metabolism hadn't slowed down yet. I really make it sound like I'm a fat fuck. I'm not that.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
was just gonna say
because you don't understand. Like I
very
literally,
similar.
you don't understand though. Like I look at pictures. Like you want to know what's funny? My nose has shrunk because my cheeks got fatter.
That's so
No,
funny.
like I'm not kidding. Like if you look at photos, and again, this is not like a narcissistic thing. It's just like an observation of
Sure.
like when I was younger, my nose was much more of a schnozoa, but now it looks more in proportion to my face because my cheeks are fatter. It's so weird.
That's so funny.
So
Yes!
this was a photo of
Birthday party, the
your
roast.
birthday party. Yeah. And
Oh
I think
my,
we're embarrassing you there. We're making
yes,
you
you are.
embarrassed. And that's the sort of thing. This was at Neo.
Oh,
See, look how much thinner I am there. Look how my nose is a lot bigger because I'm thinner, I think. There's Javier. There's Jerry.
oh my God, Jerry, yes.
Yeah,
And I
Jerry.
remember that jewelry. I had my sunglasses in my hand for some reason.
Because you were in
That's
Neo, and you had to wear sunglasses in a dark goth club at like 10 o'clock at night. Duh.
Look at that fake tan though. Wow, really rocking
I
that.
gotta be honest with you. I never really thought. I guess I kind of see it now, but like that was never really like a conscious observation at all.
That's so
to me.
funny.
I don't
Well,
know.
it was also not like abnormal for the time.
True. Maybe
So that was like it was of the era.
that's true. This is another photo. So Lindsay sat in the middle of the street. This was at Darren's apartment. And
Yes.
that's Jeff, and that's Ian. And
Oh
that
my
guy's name
God.
is Brian, maybe?
Wow, that's a good memory. I have no
And these are my
idea.
elbows. You can see my elbows through the shirt, that broken shirt. And
Hell
yeah, you're
yeah.
very embarrassed. And I remember, you know what's funny? I remember Darren was obsessed with his jeans, and he'd always put his jeans in the freezer.
In the
He loved,
freezer. Yeah.
yeah,
In
yeah. I'd never understood
I
it. He was just like, yeah, you got to put your jeans in the freezer,
That's so that's right. He was super obsessed. Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah. See, look how much bigger the nose is, though. That's what, like,
I don't really like
I know you don't think
I mean,
it's the same thing, Lindsay, about the tan thing.
no,
It's just,
I know. But you just yeah, it's interesting. God, it's so weird how you like your face changes when
yeah,
you're older.
it does. It does. I
Weird.
remember too. I remember when I first came. I don't know if it was no. It wasn't when I first came to Chicago, but I remember I stayed at your apartment because I didn't have my apartment yet, and it was for
Yep.
like a few days. And like, I remember I had to like sleep in my boxers because I didn't want to get cat hair all over my clothes because of Sugar Bear. And
Yes.
I'm so glad that Sugar Bear is 14 years old and alive and kicking, and that's
She's
wonderful.
alive.
Hi, Sugar Bear. You don't remember me, do you?
I'm such a little baby. That's
Yeah,
why.
you little need.
She's my little baby.
Yeah.
She's like,
so
fuck off, please.
she's like, leave me alone. So there's just us,
Yeah.
just being silly.
Wow. Fuck.
That was the
So
same.
young.
So young. I was, well, you were, so if you're 2 years younger than me, I was 22 maybe, or 21. You might have been 19 there, maybe.
Wow.
I guess. Now, what's going on in this photo? I wanted to ask you about this. Am I just trying to fart on you, or?
Yes, probably. And then
And you're
that's
just
my
super upset.
ex-boyfriend.
That is your ex-boyfriend? Shut up.
That's my ex-boyfriend. That's the
But
one
not
I
the
didn't
one.
even know I didn't like.
Wait, that guy? That's not him.
Yeah. Yes,
So-
it is.
Whoa. Maybe I'm thinking of a different. No, that's so crazy.
There were many a man, but this is the guy that I dated, that I like dated steadily, and he was like a very nice man, but
Does his
not
name
for
begin with
me.
the J, if I remember
No, it
correctly?
begins with a B, but the J
That's
was
the one.
definitely a different.
That's the one I was talking about before, the J.
Oh yeah,
When
the
you were
J I
saying
was
that,
pretty broken up with.
yeah, that was the one I was thinking of. Maybe I don't. Then I have no memory of that. This is us pretending to be Lindsay, because this was Lindsay's outfit.
I was obsessed with scarves and belt. Yes.
Lindsay
Oh my God,
loved
Mary
wearing a
Kate.
scarf. Yep, that's MKR, as we used to call her. Well, nobody called her that. I called her MKR.
She lives in LA.
Does she? How is she doing? Is she good? She's doing good?
She's good. She's
You
good.
tell her I say hello next time you see her.
I will. We still talk. I just texted
good.
her the other day.
You tell her I say hi, just casually.
I
Just
will.
like, hey, remember that guy Jeff from Chicago? He says hi.
Of course she'll remember you.
But yeah, so the outfit, Lindsay's outfit was, she had to have a belt around her waist. That was the style though
Always.
back then. That was the style.
Yeah.
And then you had this like this keffiyeh. It's like a keffiyeh scarf. It's like an Arab scarf that you put around your neck, and then with a plaid shirt. And the one thing that we didn't have, that we couldn't replicate from your outfit, because this was like a Lindsay themed party, was you had these
Fingerless gloves.
Yes. Yes. It was a huge part of the trademark.
Loved it. Loved it. Wore the same thing. That's so funny.
And that's Vince, who was
I
like,
know.
I don't know if you keep up with him, but he was like off social media, and then he came back on social media. I don't know.
Yeah, I follow him a little bit. I followed him on social media for a while, but if he went off of it, then
Well,
I
yeah, he
don't
was
know.
off and on. I love this photo so much. I asked Lindsay before, when I wanted to like do a little Instagram heads up thing. I just wanted to make sure she was okay with this photo. Now, see, Lindsay is not actually grabbing my unit. What happened was, I decided I was going to dress up as Batman, and so I stuffed ginormous amount of socks in my pants because I wanted to make it look like I had a big wang, but in like an ironic, like, I know I don't have a big wang, but I'm gonna make it look like my wang is really big. And so that's what this photo is. And it's great. And
I had stuffed my fupa also.
Yes.
Like I had shit stuffed in there too. Yeah. So it was a perfect.
You were Tammy. Tammy was your name.
I was Tammy. I was supposed to be trailer trash. But now that fanny pack would be cool, and so would the jeans. So
wait, really?
Yes.
That's so
fanny packs are fucking cool.
You know what's kind of funny? I have to just quick sidebar here. When COVID hit, I wear a lot of basketball shorts, gym shorts, because, you know, I'm sure you can relate. At this point in our lives, it's more about function over fashion, right? I just want
to be for sure.
Practical, pragmatic, yada, yada, yada.
Right.
Well, you know, having a wallet and keys and all these things, I was like, I want to be free balling in my basketball shorts. I don't want to have my pockets weighed down. But at the same time, I needed my mask and my hand sanitizer, and at the time, rubber gloves, when we didn't know that, like, it was okay not to wear rubber gloves. And because there was like a little window of time where it's like, you should be scrubbing your groceries.
Yeah.
And so I bought like a side sling. It was like a fanny pack that goes around like a European man purse sort of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah.
But what's interesting and funny, because depending on who you're with in the forum, somebody might make fun of you for wearing something like that.
Sure.
And so it's like I had what I was looking for was something so particular because I did not want it to come off looking like a purse, even though it totally looks like a purse. And so, but I try to wear it like it's a messenger bag.
Sure. That's cool.
Dude, it is so practical and I
Yeah.
love it. And it's almost big enough to fit. I have like this small Bluetooth keyboard that I can use for word
Yeah.
processing. Almost fits that,
Oh,
but
really?
almost. Yeah,
Shit,
like
that's big.
it's like if I have, sometimes I'll go out and I don't want to take a laptop. I don't want to take anything. I want to sit at a coffee place. I
Yeah.
want to do word processing. I'm a writer. I like to write. And so
Right.
everything's Google Docs and you connect your keyboard and you could be a writer. You could be a word processor. You don't need a whole shebang. And it's probably better because you're not like distracted by Facebook and the internet. So,
Absolutely. That's interesting. I like that.
so yes, this is like a great photo. I'm really like this one
Love
too.
it.
This is a great photo.
Yes.
This is at Halloween. There's us holding our things. Now, this is a funny photo. I don't know if you remember what I used to do to you all the time.
Used to always put straws in my hair.
I just would no, you would just be sitting. I think might have been at Portillo's, and
That look it would check out.
you would just sit and eat quietly, and I would just bother you while you would eat, and like I would put stuff in your hair, and I would like
Yes.
just like fuck with you, and you'd be like, Jeff, just fucking stop it, like go away, like total like just total nuisance. And there's even a video of it, which we'll play in a second.
Oh my God.
And there's Graham
Party
behind us.
time.
Remember Graham?
Yes. Of course I do.
Graham Cracker. He's out in LA. You ever talk to
Is
him?
he? No,
Yeah.
I haven't connected with him at all.
I haven't spoken to him
Crazy.
in more than a decade, but I did talk to his roommate recently. And from what he tells me, he's doing very well and he has a baby and wife and yada yada yada. I don't know what he does.
That's so great.
He's out there in LA. I'm whispering something to you. I don't know what I'm
Oh my
saying.
God.
There are Twizzlers at this party.
Yes. I mean, Chicago's a red vine city, so having Twizzlers is important.
I agree. See, this is a prime example of
Yes, you see Amanda.
yes, she might have been taking the photo. This is Allende,
Yes.
and we would go here every Sunday. We would go here, either here or Clark's. We would go here. And this is a great example of me, like Lindsay's just sitting trying to eat, and this is me just fucking with her. And I make her wear a mask, and I'm saying something, and she's just saying, "Jeff, just fuck off! Like, just let me sit and eat."
I love it.
Let me sit and eat my food.
Oh my
Just
God.
again, these are kind of redundant, just a photo of Lindsay and I, and I'm giving the finger, and something
I
happens.
love it though.
Of course, I love it too. It's wonderful, but this is a great photo.
Yeah.
Lindsay, I would always make these. Oh, excuse me, Lindsay. I'm going to get a little vulgar for a second.
Oh yeah.
I always would make jokes about how Lindsay just had a big, throbbing
Huge dick.
just huge
Yep.
dick. Way more dick than I ever could have as a man. Just big swinging
Big dick energy.
big dick energy. And so we would always talk about our dicks, and this is us holding them. Mine, yours are imaginary, and mine not really there as well. So hold on. Is that the last photo? That's the last photo. But what a good photo it was. So that's that's the photo presentation. And then here's the other. Oh boy, there it is. I don't know if we're going to be able to see these. This is Lindsay 1. I don't know if you're gonna be able to hear this, maybe through my headphones.
Ooh, let me see.
Hey, this video is either from 2008 or 2009. Now, for those of who may or may not remember, to be able to record video on your cell phone in the aughts was incredibly difficult. There were video cameras existed, but to be able to record audio, you could not do so easily. Let's see if you can hear this, Lindsay. Ready? I'm going to play this now.
I can hear.
Stop. Get out of here. Stop. Stop it.
Who am I sitting next to?
I don't know. You know what I would do? You know what this is? This is mutchering. I would just mutcher you, which is
I love it.
It's like a Yiddish word for just fucking with someone. Hold on, who are you sitting next to? That might be at Portillo's. Sounds like Jerry's laugh.
Oh, maybe. I love it.
It's probably went on for a little longer than it needed to.
Not until the video is over. It's almost over. Just let it happen. Just let it happen. It's almost over.
Is that your voice? That's not your voice.
You know what's so weird? It doesn't sound like me, but I feel like has to be me talking, like 100%.
Yeah, maybe. It doesn't sound like you.
Okay.
Look, you're wearing the gloves right now. You can't.
Oh my God,
you're wearing
right.
the gloves. Those are the gloves. Okay, that's the first one. And then the second one, I bet you're probably going to be like, Jeff, fuck off. I don't even remember.
No, I love it. I can't wait.
Let's see.
Eat this crayon.
Different time, people. Different time.
Yes, different time.
Say suck a cheetah's dick.
I remember that.
You know what's funny? I can't believe I actually encouraged you in the middle of the restaurant to say suck a cheetah's dick so casually while I was recording it. But who cares? But what's funny is because this is kind of foretelling the future, right? Because you sang a whole. I made you. I was like, Lindsay, come over. You're going to do this video. You're like, I'm sure now, or maybe a little bit later, you'd be like, oh yeah, Jeff, I'll do that because I like to do this stuff. But at the time, it wasn't really your thing. But you were just humoring me, and
Say it. Say suck a Say suck a cheetah's. Say suck a cheetah's.
Oh my God. Who is sitting next to you? You are exercising incredible restraint in
oh my God. No, I loved it. It was fun. I loved it.
You loved it then or you love it now?
No, I loved it then. I did.
That's good. So this was a video. This was the video we made. We made this at my apartment. This is the last thing. We can't sit and watch this whole thing. I'm just going to skip around.
Sure.
But, this is the raw footage. This is not the edited video, which I thought would be more fun than watching the actual. For who wants to watch the actual thing, we can just see the behind the scenes. And so this is Adam, and we called him over. And what was funny, I actually really liked the way this first shot came out. This was good.
Action.
Oh my God. Yes, I remember. We were so clever.
That was so clever, right?
Feeding everybody.
We were so clever.
Emotions.
Wasn't that a good idea? Because it's like,
It was a
double
good idea.
entendre, like you're cleaning, but you're also, it's like, it was so good. So
It was a
you're right.
really good.
Look, there's me. I'm like motioning to. Look what I'm wearing too. I'm wearing like
What are
in
you
long
wearing?
johns because I'm wearing waffle shirt and waffle pants because like long johns because Chicago was freezing all the time and my room wasn't
Yeah.
insulated. I didn't have any insulation in my bedroom in the back. It was you had to wear stuff to stay warm.
Oh my God.
So what am I telling you right now?
A little bit off. I'm sorry.
Okay, no problem.
All right. We're gonna do it one more time.
I'm being so compliant.
Right there.
You're being what?
So compliant.
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
Very professional.
But I had a vision that I wanted. It had to be lined up perfectly for the double entendre. So we had to. It was the only way.
Great job, everybody. And all right, back your head down a little bit. Okay. And
Adam is drinking. I think Adam is drinking Dr. Hansen's actually.
Oh my God.
Perfect. It was great.
Perfect.
It was good. It was great. And then Darren. Oh yeah. Then this was the side shot to reveal this, right? What you were doing. You were, Lindsay. You were actually really good in this.
Oh, thank you.
You were really good. You always had that pizzazz in front of the camera. And I'm sure that again, if you thought if that was ever a direction you wanted to go, where you really were I want to do sketches, that you could do the Lindsay show, because I think this video proves it. I'm not just saying it because we made it. I really think
Very
you could
nice.
do that.
Tell my acting teacher.
I will. You should show this to them. Show them the double entendre.
We'll be like,
yeah.
Love it.
But so this is Darren. So this was my roommate's actually. He had just had a coloring book, and we were just using it for this sketch. And Darren is supposed to be playing your child.
Yes.
And then he gets high from sniffing markers.
Cut.
And he sniffs the markers,
Oh my
and it's
God,
really
he's
funny.
so young.
Everybody is so young. Wait, why are you laughing? Let's see why you were laughing.
Yeah, why?
Hold on, let's find out.
That's a good shot. Oh yeah, of course.
The red light is on.
Red light district.
You better believe this is going on the internet.
It really was true. 12 years later, it really did go on the internet.
Oh my God. And
On the internet.
we were having so much fun.
This is still going on the internet.
Darren hurt himself.
Darren hurts himself. Yeah.
So, that
oh my
happened.
God.
Everybody had a.
Oh my God, he had a tongue ring.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Totally forgot.
Yep. So then you're doing the shot again.
God, those bangs.
Yep. And then this is when you find out that he is passed out because he sniffed too many markers.
My son.
Your son, and he wrote a word we won't show, but he wrote a word that was not very nice on.
Right.
Yeah, he wrote a not very nice word that is not very nice in today's vernacular.
No, it's not 2021 safe.
No, it's not 2021 safe. We're not going to show it, but it's yeah.
Oh, and then he kicks me in the crotch.
Yeah, he punched you in the coochie. Hold on. Yeah. Oh wait, hold on. We don't want to hear that. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, you see that? I made you do that a lot. Oh, and then
it's fine. Nobody saw it.
Do you have any idea what came out of his mouth? He was drawing.
You know what? I don't give a damn what that little bastard was. Now go make me a fucking sandwich.
Ooh, I'll
You
do
know-
a sandwich.
TV show, damn.
I just run into the wall.
Yeah, literally.
Hello.
Hello.
Action.
I wish I still had those jeans. They're cool now.
Really? Is that how it works? I just don't know how these fashion trends
And
work.
I got those as a joke.
Really? You still have them?
Mhm.
Did you hang
No, I
on to them?
wish. I wish I still had them.
Do you think all those thrift stores that we live by, like all those magical places, are they still around or did they get destroyed by COVID? I'd be like devastated.
I think they got destroyed by COVID
So sad.
and younger kids.
That is so sad.
Hello. Do you know
Yeah.
what your son just did? Do you have any idea what came out of his mouth? He called me a tranny. Me.
Oh, sorry.
And action.
You are such a stupid little showcop.
Wait, what?
So the whole point is that it's supposed to, it's kind of made it up on the spot. It was really just an
We
excuse.
did.
It was an excuse because we just wanted you to sing about, sucking a
Suck a
cheetah's dick,
cheetah's
which
dick.
is, for those who don't know, Wesley Willis he's an institution, some would say, a musical institution of Chicago mythology, Chicago lore, the rock and roll McDonald's, all that. It was just this homeless man with a Casio piano who suffered from schizophrenia and wrote crazy songs with pre-programmed music, and one of them was "Suck Cheetah's Dick." And and I was like, Lindsay, you got to sing the song. So
Yeah.
basically, this is an excuse for Lindsay to tell her family to suck a cheetah's dick.
Yes, exactly.
That's what's happening here. So,
Roy.
wait.
Suck a polar bear's funky ass.
Track is.
Can you tell that I'm not looking at her if I don't look at her?
Yeah, don't worry about it. All right, hold on.
Oh, I have to keep pausing and replaying the song. It's on the TV.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
I'm like going back. I'm like trying to get.
Okay.
That's so funny.
Suck a polar bear's funky ass. Suck a racehorse's cock. Takes me no ketchup. Suck a donkey's ass.
Roy.
It took a while to get it, but eventually. Oh wait, this is good. I think. Hold on.
Suck a polar bear's funky ass. Suck a racehorse's dick with Heinz tomato ketchup. Suck a donkey's shitty ass. Suck a male camel's dick with oyster sauce. Suck a cheetah's dick. Suck a cheetah's dick. Suck a cheetah's dick.
Got it.
And what's amazing, I don't know if you memorized. Did you memorize this, or did you?
I don't think I think we just did it so many times.
I think I was like feeding you each line. It had to be because it was not. I think this was my first time ever trying to lip sync something. I had never done this before. I was just like, I just wanted to make this video. This was a time where YouTube was still, yes, you had like the first wave of like YouTube, like royalty and stars, but like this was a time where some people did have a YouTube channel. I had one since 2006. Some people had a YouTube channel and you would make a video and you would hope that whatever you were doing was funny and that it would go viral. Because that's what it was all about, viral videos in those first 5 years. This was YouTube is 4 years old at this point. Isn't that crazy to think about?
Yeah. Oh, I can't.
Suck a cheetah's dick. Suck a cheetah's dick. Suck a cheetah's dick.
I don't know where the choreography came from for that, but that is
That was
awesome.
great.
European rice and smelly ass.
That was such a good idea to have them both doing stuff in the background.
Such a good idea.
Yeah.
Woolly mammoth stick with Miracle Whip. Suck a snow leopard's ass with whipped cream. Suck a hyena's furry dick.
Suck a hyena's spermy dick.
He does dick.
Ah,
Suck
I mean, what language? This is funny.
dick. Suck a cheetah's dick. Suck
that was good.
That was good. That was good. And then Darren goes into this whole, oh yeah, you're doing a dance thing on the thing. That's because there was a breakdown in the song.
Yes.
Suck a woolly mammoth's dick with miracle whip. Suck a snow leopard's ass with whipped cream. Suck a hyena's sperm and dick. Suck a cheetah's
You were getting into it. You were enjoying that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, yeah, that was weird. That was right. You know,
Oh yeah, Darren and I simulated sex and made out a lot.
I mean, it was like funny. Like it was like really,
Yeah.
really funny. It was like a novelty that you guys were really good friends. And that was just like something that you did. It's just like a
Totally.
joke. I mean, you didn't do that. You did that because the camera was rolling. The camera was rolling.
Yeah, it
on
was
that.
it was funny. We were being weird.
Right. And then everybody's just dancing. God, he was so great. I'll never forget when I first met Adam. I showed him a movie I made called A Man and His Meat, and I knew Adam and I were going to be very good friends because he watched my stupid little video, and I swear to God, Adam laughed so hard he fell out of his chair. This was at 2 East 8th. He fell out of the chair, and I swear to God, he was going to have a heart attack. He couldn't stop. And it was just a stupid video, but I was just like,
Yeah.
I was like, this guy just understands. He just gets it. He just understands the goofiness.
Fuck yeah.
You know.
Sit down.
And that's it. So,
oh yeah, and then
you
we
know.
make out. Yeah. Oh
yeah,
my God, that was so fun though.
yeah. It was really fun. I was really glad that we could go down memory lane and just sort of, reminisce about, these funny things. I was like, what am I going
My
to do?
face hurts from smiling.
Yeah, it's good. It's really nice to sort of do that sort of stuff and, just sort of reminisce. And I got to tell you that it really is, as I said before, that's why, with the cell phone cameras now and with like memory cards being so cheap, I don't have an iPhone. I don't have an iCloud account, but I just keep loading in memory cards that I never hesitate to turn on the camera and record something. I just have hard drives full of videos that someday I will look back on and smile or cringe or whatever be the case.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Yay!
Yay, we did it. This, I got to
I'm
tell you,
so glad we did.
I am so glad that we did this. And it was so nice to see you sort of face to face,
I agree.
If
I
I
agree.
in the future have some very special content, like where I need like a judge panel or something, or I don't know, something in the future, I am not going to hesitate to be like, hey, Lindsay, I want to do this thing on the show and
Please.
we'll have you on and yada, yada, yada. So
Please.
think
And you have
about
to
that.
send me the stuff about that food thing. I want to see
oh my God, yes.
what
Yes. I want to
I'm
hear
very excited.
your 2 cents on that and sort of like just hear what you have to say. And yeah.
Yeah, I'm very excited about that. This is great though. I love you.
Dude, this was seriously super awesome. And I'm really glad that we could reconnect. And I hope that someday, if I'm ever out there, if you're ever out there, hit me up or I'll hit you up.
Please.
And we'll
Hit me up if you're ever.
if it's COVID safe, we can get coffee and
I would love that.
or eat some really weird shit.
Oh, yeah. Fuck yeah.
Lindsay, what is the best? Because I'll put it in the link in the description.
Sure.
What is the best? What is the stuff that you want people to see? All 25, 30 people that will watch this. Where do we find Lindsay?
Definitely go to my YouTube, which is the channel is Lindsay Adams is popular. And then my Instagram is also Lindsay Adams is popular. So
That was smart.
those are the two easiest. I changed it. My Instagram was different and I synced it up. And my TikTok is the same, but I don't really post anything on TikTok.
You know what's funny too? It's always like the worst part about like making up a name is that like you have to stick with it once if you want to like try and brand yourself or whatever. That's why I'm just Frumess. I was like, oh, it's my last name. But if you make that change halfway through when you're trying to establish yourself in some way, it's just like annoying because you're kind of like, it's like starting all over again because, you know.
That's why I had to make it so weird. And I'm glad you can change it with Instagram and YouTube, but you can't with Twitter. So my Twitter has always been different. My Twitter is Lindsay's face. And so it's just like, I don't fucking know. I don't know. Maybe I'm branding poorly.
Freaking Lindsay's face. Lindsay's freaking face. Lindsay, I want to say thank you so much for coming on the show. Say hello to Nick for me.
I will.
Do
Kiss
that.
your family for me.
I will. And you give Sugar Bear a big cuddle behind the ears. Look at him. Her. Aw, what a sweetie. Guys.
She's just a baby.
She is a babe. She's just a baby. We used to say the word "neen" all the time. I don't know why you're so afraid of Neen. She's a little Neen. Guys, it's late. I gotta wake up in the morning, so we're gonna end this pizza punk. This has been really great, Lindsay. Love you. Peace
Love you.
and hair grease.
Bye.